welcome to another event with Hi TV, your luxury lifestyle channel. Tonight we are here at the International Scholars 25th anniversary celebrations taking place at the Cinnamon Grand. Stay tuned with Hi Events to find out more.
We are ready for the 25th anniversary celebrations, 25th year of celebration of rendering the utmost services towards Sri Lanka, uplifting the Sri Lankan youth. Ladies and gentlemen, today we all live in a world where everything is equally important and every performance is almost nearing a perfection. On this backdrop, there is only little space left to innovate. That's none other than you and I. We have become the center point of a huge ranging tornado, all being fueled by so much of developments. For an example, artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science. Think about the self-driven cars and the computers that can think and learn. The way we work will never be the same again. We would require a whole set of new skills to encounter the challenges of the new world order. Time and again, history has taught us that technologically and knowledge-wise superior will always win. Taking these world realities into consideration, since the year 1999, International Scholar has always been there in the forefront in finding the best fits when it comes to career plus education opportunities for the Sri Lankan students and basically youth overseas. And that is the exact reason why currently International Scholar is established and enriched with more than 100 institutions in more than 10 countries. And we have already served more than 3,000 Sri Lankan youth already during the last 25 plus years. Shall we all put our hands together, give International Scholar a big round of applause, and come on. As we welcome all of you for these 25th anniversary celebrations of International Scholar, it gives me great pleasure to call upon, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the country leader for Japan and the accountant of International Scholar. Please welcome Ms. Samira Lekamge to welcome all of you.
Ayubowan, Selamat Datang, Namaste, Vanakkam, Assalamu Alaikum. Let me have the honor of welcoming all of you on this special evening, which marks a significant milestone of International Scholar. Month of July holds a special place in our hearts since 1999. In 1999, Dr. John Duncan offered us with our first partnership agreement with an Australian university, which served as the initial inspiration of International Scholar. After a long journey marked by dedication, integrity, and ethical services, today we celebrate 25 years of success as your trusted overseas educational consultant. First and foremost, I warmly welcome our esteemed chief guest, Dr. John Duncan. We are also deeply honored by the presence of our special guests of honor, His Excellency Badli Hisham Adam, High Commissioner of Malaysia to Sri Lanka, Ms. Lalita Kapoor, Acting Australian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, and Mr. Abdul Majid, Canadian Trade Commissioner. Your presence today adds immense value to our celebration. I would also like to acknowledge and extend a warm welcome to the officials from the embassy, representatives from universities who came all the way from Australia, Malaysia, New Zealand, UK, Canada, Singapore, and Dubai as well. Senior officials from leading government and private universities, school principals and officials, former principals and former officials from government and private schools, our banking partners, Sampath and NDB, parents who have trusted our services throughout the years, and our dear students whose success stories motivated us to provide the best service always.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to call upon yet another very special personality to address all of you here at these 25th anniversary celebrations. A leader becomes powerful not purely because of the powers that they have within them, but the ability of them to empower thousands of people out there. He is such an inspirational leader who has led international scholar to the current status, serving Sri Lanka, serving more than 3,000 Sri Lankan youth. And it's time to call upon, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Chief Executive Officer, the man behind the game, and international scholar, Mr. Kirti Jayasuriya.
A very good evening to all of you. Chief guest, Dr. John Duncan, High Commissioner of Malaysia, His Excellency Badli Hisham Adam, Acting High Commissioner, Acting High Commissioner of Australia, Ms. Lalita Kapoor, members of diplomatic missions, representatives of universities, distinguished guests, parents, friends, and fellow staff members. As we gather here to celebrate this remarkable 25th anniversary, I am filled with a profound sense of gratitude and pride. This milestone is a testament to the incredible journey we have all shared, marked by dedication, perseverance, countless moments of joy, triumph, and needless to say, setbacks as well. Tonight, we also take a moment to recognize and thank those who have been instrumental in our success. To our partners, team members, friends, families, your support and the belief in our vision have been the bedrock of our achievements. We couldn't have reached this milestone without you. Reflecting, there was a period when I found myself needing to spend more time in Sri Lanka. Yet I couldn't fully leave Australia. I was searching for a compelling reason to bridge this gap. When a student I helped voluntarily made a valuable suggestion. She mentioned that if I offered my services and my assistance professionally, I could be compensated for it. This sparked the idea that eventually took shape and emerged as international scholar in the front room of my parents' home with another partner. Veranda of the house was the reception. I had the full support of my siblings to occupy the family home for the business venture, and I'm very grateful to them. One of them, with her husband, traveled all the way from England to be with us today. Entering a new field from an entirely different background was a daunting challenge. Initially, securing agency agreements was a significant hurdle. Today, I am proud to note the presence of representatives from 35 leading universities across 7 countries, including our esteemed guest, Dr. John Duncan, who granted me my first agency agreement. He is much more than that in this industry. He first came to promote Australian education in Sri Lanka on the 20th of July, 1994, braving the war that was ravaging at the time. Exactly 30 years to date. What a coincidence. Many of you have traveled from distant lands to be with us today. I am honored and humbled by your presence. Securing agency agreements was a significant challenge, but attracting students proved to be an even greater one and remains so to this date. It took us over 9 months to recruit our first student. At that time, we had no staff. However, as time passed, student numbers slowly began to increase, and the company started to take shape. We recruited our first employee in 2003, but in 2004, my partner left, leaving me to manage the business on my own. I assumed the role of CEO in 2005. In 2008, my wife, who was working for the Commonwealth Government in Australia, joined me, bringing her valuable experience and support to our venture. In this endeavor, many of my friends present here today, with whom I have shared over a half a century of friendship, supported me by entrusting us with their children's education overseas. At the time, I was an unknown entity. One of you traveled all the way from Brisbane to be with me today, to be here with me today, demonstrating the strength of our bonds. Once a student is directed to us, we ensure that we deliver a professional, ethical, and effective service. I can confidently say our global visa success rate exceeds 98% for most countries. It is 100% for most countries. There can be no better testament to the quality of our services than the presence of Your Excellency, Badli Hisham Adam, the High Commissioner of Malaysia, Ms. Lalita Kapoor, Acting High Commissioner of Australia, and other senior officials of diplomatic missions. Another notable factor is the Google reviews we receive. To date, we have garnered over 750 five-star reviews, a feat unmatched by any other educational consultant, even globally. Over the years, we have established an excellent reputation as an organization that delivers professional services in a highly ethical manner. And I'm very proud of this achievement.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former principal and the college director of Deakin University. Our chief guest, please welcome Dr. John Duncan to address the gathering.
Good evening, everyone. His Excellency, Mr. Badli Hisham Adam, the Malaysian High Commissioner. The Acting Australian High Commissioner, Ms. Lalita Kapoor. Canadian Tribe Commissioner, Mr. Abdul Majid. And of course, the International Scholar Team. What a night this is. The Chairman and CEO, my very, very good friend, over 25 years of international scholar, Mr. Kirthi Jayasuriya, his partner, the Directress, I love that name, International Scholar, Mrs. Saman Rukmali Jayasuriya, Director, Dr. Dinuk Jayasuriya, Principal Advisor, Ms. Lee Brentnell, and Senior Advisor, Mr. R.M.M. Rathnayaka. Dream big. I don't think you could have a better motto for a company than dream big. And when you look at tonight and you look at the people that have been invited here and the people that came and accepted the invitation, you have to think, how good is this? How good is this? When Keith contacted me late last year it was and said, John, would you please keep some space in your calendar to come to Sri Lanka for International Scholar? And I said to my wonderful partner, Josie, looks like we'll go back for a trip to Sri Lanka again. She's been here 2 or 3 times before, loves the country as I do. Then an email came about 3 weeks later. Keith saying, well, I'd like you to come over, John, for the 25th anniversary of Scholar as chief guest. I thought, my goodness me, what an honour. And I can tell you, I've been trying to think of the words. It is an honour, it's a privilege. I'm absolutely overawed, to be honest, and humbled by that honour. So in my evening, I Googled chief guest. What does chief guest actually mean? And it said, you set the agenda for the evening. I thought, my goodness me. And then I decided there'll be one agenda item only. This one, International Scholar, because that's what it's all about. And when you hear the things that Keith just talked about before, the passion he has, and all the staff here, and how they've gone about in a professional and ethical way, because they're the 2 words you'll see on the website of International Scholar are those 2 words that stand out. My immediate memories go back to meeting Keith, of course, in 1999. You're thinking, who am I? Thinking, who are you? Shaking hands. And he said, I have a vision of recruiting students into international education. Now, I had no idea until tonight that he mentioned that it was a student that planted that seed in his mind. I think there were other reasons as well, coming back to this wonderful country, that was one of those key reasons at that time. Since then, and I was absolutely had no idea that offering him that contract, and I can tell you it didn't take long, it was only a few minutes. In life, you get that opportunity, you meet someone, you think, yeah, you have that 6th sense about someone, a decent person who's got a vision, who's going to be successful, who'll take a risk. And Keith has just mentioned that right through in his excellent presentation before. And throughout the years, they've been in touch with International Scholar because this is all about them. We would talk and he'd say, guess what? I've now signed up to university, which is then Deakin University, associated with Deakin College. He then went to other universities in Australia. They were following suit. The reason that happened at an early stage, whilst it took him 9 months to get that first student, it wouldn't have been without hard work and dedication at that time. No other staff, was because of the reputation. International education is about word of mouth. You can read something in a brochure, you can see it in the internet, but it's what you hear on how the students and their parents are looked after by that educational agency. So then Keith would ring me and would speak, says, guess what, John? I've gone into New Zealand, Canada, and USA followed, the UK and Ireland, then to play Dubai, Cyprus, Japan, Malaysia, Singapore, all going, of which 7 of them tomorrow afternoon at the Kingsbury Hotel, again at an International Scholar exhibition. The next key date, as Keith showed, was of course July 2015. Now I have incredible memories of those first years when 3 Daisy Villa Avenue was the address. It was the address that we came to at that time to counsel students. And 3 Daisy Villa Avenue had a very narrow driveway through there. You had to get those cars through those front gates. It was a single-fronted house, a home at that time. But it was also a place that welcomed students, parents, and all of us there as university and college representatives. That was the key point about it all. And that's why he has been successful. Scholar House undertook an amazing restructure in 2015. Again, at that time, I was delighted to be guest of honour at that time, and a huge audience again. And those of you who are regular visitors into Scholar House will know exactly what I mean about the facilities. You have to have first-class facilities, but it's the warmth that's generated. You test a company or an educational representative out by that first appearance, the first person you meet at that door, at reception or otherwise, and they're the people you meet here at International Scholar when you come into that office. So 25 years. There's a lot of words that you can just describe that as. It's hard work, it's professionalism, it's networking, but above all, it's caring for the students and of course their parents when they came in that door as Scholar. But the other word that's there, and it came up when Keith was talking about 1999 to 2005, and he used that word, and I will never, ever forget those years just before Keith became the sole CEO of International Scholar, and the one word that comes out is resilience. It's always resonated with me, that word, and it's certainly a key platform for Scholar is resilience. And when I mean resilience, one of my all-time favourite heroes is Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King always said, the ultimate measure of any person in society is a person who can undergo and not just revel in the comforts and convenience of what's happening, but it's how they face up to the controversy and challenges. Keith and Saman and Dinek and all the staff in the early days faced up to that and more. But it was more for myself and others who came here 30 years ago. It so happened when Keith said, when did you first come here? And I kind of knew how many people keep their old passports. I do for some reason. So my second passport, there was a stamp, 20th of July, 1994, 30 years to now. And I was speaking to a very close colleague of mine, Rod Jones, who we still keep in very touch, on Tuesday of this week informing I was coming here. He said, don't forget to mention the first exhibition we went to. And I knew it was 1994 Australian Education Exhibition. It was right here when this hotel was the Oberoi Hotel. There were 8 institutions, Rod Jones and I, and 6 other representatives here. That's where a lot of it all started here in 1994. And we talked about resilience in the other sense, resilience of Sri Lanka. When Keith set up, it was right in the middle almost of civil unrest. That's when we came into Sri Lanka. And memories also of the people, the resilience of the people of Sri Lanka here, not only to promote international education, send their students abroad, but I can remember there'd be 3 or 4 roadblocks between here and the Colombo Hill, where we always used to stay in those days. And we used to stay here in between. You had to show your passports. There was darkness at night. But people had that resilience to keep going. And that's what International Scholar has in spades, is that resilience. So that's what the journey has brought. It has been a journey. It's been an extraordinary journey. I know I'm not going to repeat the fact that there's been 98% visa approvals. Wow, that's extraordinary, 100%. Knowing you're a student or parent coming in to the company and being treated like that. The other joy at the end of it, and there's many representatives here of colleges and universities have come to participate in the Scholar exhibition at Kingsbury Hotel tomorrow. As principal of 12 years of Deakin College, we did become the largest pathway college in Australia very, very quickly. And one of the contributors to that, unlike many other colleges, because where we were located in Melbourne, there is a strong Sri Lankan community. Hundreds and hundreds of wonderful young students came through Deakin College and then into Deakin University. And there's 2 great joys you get from being principal. There's a lot of others you don't get a lot of joys from, but these 2 joys were welcoming students at orientation and the graduation ceremonies. And at the graduation ceremonies, it wasn't just the fact that Sri Lankan students, and they did perform better than nearly all of the other cultures that we had. They were good. Many of them went on to their master's degrees, PhDs at Deakin University, and careers elsewhere. But it was how seriously they took the graduation ceremonies. They were always there, 100% attendance. It was important for them to get that diploma, to get that degree, go on with life. The way they were groomed, their behaviour was immaculate. They were easily our favourite students, and they didn't cause a lot of unrest that other students did throughout that college. So I think commendation for that. As I said, and it was mentioned before, this is my favourite country, and thank you for mentioning. I did come here 60 years ago, and if there's anything about international education and migration, it doesn't just change a person or an individual and a family. Of course it does. It changes countries. It changes communities and societies in between those countries. So I first arrived here in June, again, 1964, as an 8-year-old boy. And we stopped off in Sri Lanka, went up to Kandy, saw the elephant orphanage, Temple of the Tooth, everything there. That image has never left me. So the fact that an 8-year-old boy can stand here 60 years on in his favourite country and be able to be deemed as the chief guest for international scholar amongst so many eminent people is what immigration and international education is all about. I thank you, Keith, Saman, your family, the International College staff, Your Excellencies, the people here, there's leaders of industry, principals, vice-chancellors of colleges, and it's just been overwhelming. It's an absolute honour to be the chief guest here, particularly, obviously, for international scholar in this wonderful country of Sri Lanka. Thank you very much, everyone.
Manager of Student Services, it is my honor and pleasure to deliver a heartfelt vote of thanks on this momentous occasion celebrating the 25th anniversary of International Scholar, a leading overseas educational consultant and career guidance service. Firstly, I want to express my deepest gratitude to our chief guest, Dr. John Duncan, and special guest of honor, Malaysian High Commissioner, His Excellency Badli Hisham Adam, Acting Australian High Commissioner, Ms. Lalita Kapoor, Canadian Trade Commissioner, Mr. Abdul Majid, Director Trade Austrade, Mr. Shamil Jawad, Director Education Australia, Ms. Sandy Senaviratna, and other distinguished guests who took time off their busy schedules to grace this occasion. Your presence meant a lot to us. To our educational partners and institutions, your collaboration has been pivotal in shaping the futures of the students we serve. Your dedication to providing quality education and opportunities has significantly contributed to the success of our students. Some of you came from distant lands to grace this occasion. We are honored by your presence. We are proud and thankful to all the school officials who accepted our invitations and joined us to celebrate this very special event. We are very thankful to the parents present here and at large who entrusted us with the future overseas education of their children, and we are very happy to see your children doing well in their careers. We look forward to serving you again in the years to come. I would also like to acknowledge and thank all those present here who have in various ways shown their companionship to International Scholar. Your support is an inspiration. I would have felt in my duty if I didn't thank the management and my colleagues at International Scholar who supported and helped to make this a wonderful and successful event. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to our CEO, Mr. Kirti Jayasuriya, who serves as our mentor, leader, and motivator. On behalf of the entire Scholar family, I express my sincere appreciation for your unwavering guidance and support. International Scholar, your brainchild, is now celebrating 25 years of excellence. Yet, your presence in the office continues to be invaluable to us. We also wish to acknowledge our directress and Chief Counselor, Mrs. Rukmali Jayasuriya, our mother figure, who consistently provides us with emotional support. Thank you, sir and madam. I also want to extend my deepest thanks to all my colleagues. Your dedication, hard work, and team spirit have been instrumental in our success. Together, we have made this event exceptional, and I am grateful to each one of you for your contributions. I'm very happy to see the presence of a large media contingent. I hope we have made a good enough impression for you to write about. Thank you very much. I'm also grateful to the management and staff at Cinnamon Grand Hotel for their help and support. Last but not least, I thank the event organizer, Mr. Indika, and the team of In and Out Advertising for working tirelessly with us for over 1 year to plan this event and coming up with very innovative and creative ideas that led to making this event a memorable occasion. As we conclude this evening's celebrations, let us carry forward the spirit of unity, excellence, and innovation that International Scholar embodies. Let us continue to support and uplift each other as we journey towards new milestones in international education. Before I conclude, let me say that while our formal program may be over, the party has just begun. Let's continue the celebration with good food, great company, and unforgettable moments. Thank you once again, everyone, for your presence and participation. Let us continue to strive for excellence and make the next 25 years even more remarkable.
I'm here with the CEO of international scholar Mr. Kirti and the directress Ms. Rukmali. Mr. Kirti, can you tell us about what made you establish this wonderful institution back in 1999?
Yeah, I mean, at that time, by profession, I'm an engineer, so I had no idea about student counseling, but I had a particular reason to come to Sri Lanka, and I was looking for an opportunity, and this came by, and at the time, there was a lot of problems for Sri Lankan students who had finished their advanced level, and they didn't have many options, so there was a lot of confusion as to what they should be doing and all that, and I thought this would be a good opportunity for me to help the young and people who are lost. So that's how it started, and it has evolved over the 25 years to be one of the leading organizations in the industry.
Absolutely, absolutely. Mrs. Rukmali, can I actually ask you a question? What is one of the most memorable success stories you have?
When I am talking about success story means when a student get the visa, the joy they get, that's the precious thing for me.
And Mr. Kirti, what are your plans for the next 25 years?
I mean, it's uncertain times because with the technology and everything, how the industry will turn, we don't know. But we hope to continue in the same way, in the same manner, and deliver a good service and serve the community, continue to serve the community. And if something remarkable happens, that's fine. And we will use technology to our advantage and see how we can help students better.
I'm here with Her Excellency Ms. Lalita Kapoor, the Acting High Commissioner from Australia to Sri Lanka. Ms. Lalita, can you tell us how has international scholars' contributions impacted Australia as well as the international students coming into Australia?
Look, it's been an amazing 25 years with International Scholar. The first contract they had actually was with an Australian education provider, and for many years they've been helping students find the right fit for them in travelling overseas to study abroad and find the opportunities that they're looking for. And so many of those students have gone to Australia and had an amazing experience, a wonderful educational opportunity, an ability to learn about another country, and have forged really strong links with Australia. And as you know, there are so many Sri Lankans who have come to call Australia home. Many keep coming back to Sri Lanka from Australia, so we have this very strong tie. It's quite special, actually, and I think the education relationship is actually a large part of that. So has contributed to what's become a very special bond between our two countries.
I'm here with Mr. Kanishka, Regional Head of Flint University, South Australia. Mr. Kanishka, can you tell us what has the relationship been with the international scholar thus far?
Well, first of all, very happy to be here. And International Scholars has been one of the top performers. And when I say top performer, and when it comes to education, it's nothing but the quality. So when it comes to quality, International Scholar has been one of the top performers for Flinders Universities in South Australia. So we are very happy about that. And also being 25 years of excellence is not something small. So that's big, and we look forward to working with them as well.
And one last question. How has it evolved, the experience for a student to go international and then study abroad? How has that evolved throughout the years, and then how has International Scholar been able to facilitate with that to make the experience a lot more easy?
Now that's a great question. I guess when it comes to education, it's a responsibility, and we do understand understanding South Asian culture, how serious that is for parents as well. So when you ask me how that has evolved, I guess that is about understanding what is the right path for a student in terms of the future career, then picking up the right program. And when you're talking about Sri Lankans, Australia has been the most favored destination for higher education, and we are very happy to work with international scholars because, like I mentioned earlier as well, it's nothing but about the quality. So when it comes to international scholars, I don't think they have compromised that. So very happy about it.
I'm here with Dr. Dinuk, one of the directors here at International Scholar. Doctor, can you tell us about how International Scholar facilitates a student's experience from Sri Lanka to Australia and ensure that they have a great time throughout?
Absolutely. I'm pleased to be here. Thanks for the question. I think one of the key things about International Scholar throughout its whole journey has been making sure that the students' needs come first. So even if we feel that a student doesn't belong at an institution that they think they should go to, and even one we don't represent, we would say this isn't necessarily in your interest. And I think that's one of the key ethos that my parents have brought to the company and that have been instilled in the staff. So we're very proud of that. And I think that's one reason why students keep coming back to us. It's that ethical service that we provide. I mean, my father was talking about having over 750 five-star reviews from students. We had over 400 students go overseas last year, and about 90% of those students came through word of mouth. So that ethical experience and that focus is really paramount to what we provide.
And how has the service evolved throughout the years?
So actually, I mean, we stick to the basics, which is to teach them, we explain to them what happens in Australia. So I think the fact that, again, my parents have lived in Australia for 30 years, that helps in terms of giving the students that understanding of the culture and what they're looking forward to, and I suppose the risks and challenges. So that extra little bit of service, I think, is very important.
And that's a wrap, folks. We thank our viewers for staying with us here tonight. My name is Adisha Chalanka, and until next event, take care.